Have you ever read a comic and thought, I want to draw like that, but you didn't know where to start? Well, I wrote this book to solve that problem, How to Draw Comics the 90s Way. Because that classic Marvel version taught me a lot, but I believe there's a next step after mastering the basics, which is finding a style. I will take you through my 5-step system using this awesome David Finch art. The first thing I look at is proportions. And look at this Catwoman. That head looks tiny, not the realistic 1/7 proportion, but more like 1/8. Next, I place the style on my cross graph with the 2 axes, realistic exaggerated and minimal and detailed, which lands it very close to Jim Lee territory. Lots of lines, high detail, but still grounded in realism. Yes, we're narrowing it down. Now the shading. This isn't quite Scott Williams, it's more old school. Finch's signature here is extremely even cross-hatching, parallel, controlled, almost like he uses a ruler. Then line width. Here the hatching stays thin, but the outer contour has a strong variation, thick to thin, and no open lines, which Jim Lee does do. That puts it in this option here. Finally, the color feels flat at first glance, but notice the sharp two-tone separation here. Not a big variation or difference in the colors, which kind of makes it moody. So yeah, now we have the variables. And this is definitely a 90s connected style, very close to Jim Lee, what I call the hatchy style. So let's apply it. I'll draw Superman in this graceful pose from that chapter, but using the Finch style rules we just analyzed. Small head, strong anatomy, controlled hatching, bold outlines. Okay, one thing that's super Finch is the small pecs, the ribcage sticking out further than the pecs. Perfect for my pose. Just need the head to be a bit smaller, I think. Double check. Yes. Okay, tighten it up. Oh, and look at this. Boom! Classic veins. Finch obviously grew up reading the same comics I did. And I realized I was winging it a bit on the leg muscles here, so let's get some reference. Finding bodybuilders is much easier than finding a David Finch drawing of the legs seen from the back, because this one here is not much help. But for the chest, plenty of Finch art to look at. Interesting, here I would have made the top 2 abs small, but for Finch the top 2 are the biggest of the 6. And Bruce Wayne here is basically a Superman face. Just gotta add that hair curl. Then the classic Finch shadows, and starting to look quite cool already. I think I can basically just drop hard outline shadows like these and then later come back for the hatching on another layer. So one layer is the thick to thin outline, then those hard big shadows, and then cross hatching in a third layer. Let's see if there's a pattern. Either one direction or crossed in pretty much always a 45-degree angle. Always on the bottom of the hard shadows because the light is coming from the top. Get that biceps vein in there. Finally the S. By the way, I have a video just about how to draw that S in a 3D way. For the colors, add another layer for the flats and then a mask layer over that for the fades. Just picking them here from this Catwoman. Over a year ago, I mentioned I was turning this whole system into a book, and it's finally done. How to Draw Comics the 90s Way is a manual you can keep next to your comics. And if that sounds useful to you, there's a link in the description. It's an Amazon print-on-demand book, so it'll still be in time for Christmas. Okay, boom! What do you think? Finch or no Finch? Wait, next day eyes, probably not that blocky here. That's more of a Magnolia thing. The blocky style. Alright, thanks for hanging out, keep drawing, and catch you next time. Bye!